guys, and welcome back to Apex Guide to Adulting. In today's video, I'm going to be talking you through overdrafts. I'm going to be focusing on two main types of overdrafts. There's your standard overdrafts that anybody can get, and then student overdrafts, which only students can get. But let's just dive straight in. So, an overdraft is a form of credit that you can get on a bank account, a current account, that will extend you money like a short-term loan. However, be warned, they can be very expensive if you are misusing them or using them incorrectly. So generally, most banks will offer an overdraft service. They are credit scored, they are credit checked, and they act as basically a short-term float if you go overdrawn. Now, normally, if you don't have an overdraft, when you try to spend money or a bill comes out of your account and you don't have enough money to cover it, you will go overdrawn. What that means is basically your account will go into the negative. That costs you a lot of money. Generally, with most banks, that costs you about £5 per day, as well as a percentage of the amount that you are overdrawn, which can add up very, very quickly if you don't catch it. Overdrafts are designed so that you don't get charged the overdrawn fee and the percentage fee, but you do get charged for being in your overdraft. Now, as of recording, the interest rates on overdrafts are now an eye-watering 40% with your top 5 major banks. So that's Bank of Scotland, Halifax, Lloyds, TSB and Barclays will charge you 40% to be in your overdraft, which is just eye-watering, absolutely crazy. Some banks, however, like M&S Bank and First Direct, will offer you a portion of your overdraft to be 0%, i.e. interest-free. So you can go up to this amount overdrawn and it won't cost you anything. With M&S, I think they offer £100 as standard, and with First Direct, they offer you £250 as standard. Now, on the flip side, student overdrafts are designed specifically and only for students. You can only get them if you have a student account with the bank and if you are registered on a full-time or part-time basis with any educational establishment across Britain. These differ from normal overdrafts in two ways. One, there is a tiered system in terms of how much money you can borrow, i.e. the limit of your overdraft. So the majority of banks, when you first take out the overdraft, a student overdraft, they will offer you generally blanket between £1,000 and £1,500, and it will be completely interest free, even if you max it out. You'll generally get that for 2 or 3 years of your course. Once you then get to the next rung up, it's normally £2,000, your overdraft limit will be increased. And again, so on. So normally the ceiling limit is £3,000 after 5 years of being in education. The second way that they differ, as I've already mentioned, is the fact that they are completely interest free. If you do exceed your overdraft limit, you are going to get charged overdraft charges, which differ from bank to bank. And this is where a lot of students fall down. In essence, what they're thinking is, that's £3,000 of free money. That's not the case. That is a debt. That is still money that you owe, regardless of whether you're getting charged interest on it or not. And a lot of students can find themselves getting to the end of their degree with a £3,000 debt that they have no idea how to pay. Now, a way that banks try to combat this is with student accounts. They will put you, when you graduate, onto what's called a postgraduate account. So in the same way that they tiered it up, the credit limit of the overdraft, they'll tier it down with the postgraduate account. But it still does mean that you're normally having to find £1,000 or so every year that you'll need to pay in. A lot of people don't budget that £100 a month that they need to be able to pay it off, and then end up being stuck with £1,000 debt they don't know how to pay. Overdrafts can be really, really handy, especially if you find yourself in a tight spot. If you've had a few days off sick and you've not made as much money as you would have normally, they can tide you over with a short little influx of cash to help you pay your bills, get on with life until you're able to earn that money back. Similarly with students, it allows you to potentially be able to put down a deposit for a new flat. If you need to pay for some furniture or you're having trouble paying your tuition fees, you've got that safety barrier there for you. However, they can be very troublesome for people. Currently, there are ways to get around student overdraft regulations. So currently, you can only have one student overdraft because they are government subsidised in terms of the interest. However, I know of people that have 4. It's very easy to get around the the rules and the regulations. But that can very quickly spiral out of control, and people can sometimes end up not just owing £3,000 but nearly £15,000 in debt by the time they even graduate. And that's before you think about any student loans, credit cards, or anything else they may have taken out to sustain their lifestyle. Similarly, with a standard overdraft with a 40% interest, it can absolutely cripple people. So the best thing that you can do is try and transfer it to a 0% overdraft if you can, if your bank will allow it, or sometimes actually even using a credit card to pay it off might save you interest in the long run. Even most credit cards for bad credit scores only have an interest rate of 24.9% APR rather than the 40% that your bank's going to charge you. If you've got any questions, as before, always leave a comment or a question in the forum page so we can have a chat and I'll be able to help you out. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.